Hello, I'm Vince White. I'm an employment attorney, and we are answering publicly posted questions on Avo.com, trying to get people the answers they need from an employment attorney. And here is our question: Can an employer legally refuse to consider reclassification of an exempt/non-exempt per FLSA compensation of a position and back pay? Okay, so provide a quick primer for the audience here. Basically, you can be exempt from the Fair Labor Standards Act, which means you don't deserve overtime pay for a number of different reasons. Or if you're not exempt, then you do reserve time, and you deserve time and a half under the law for your hourly work, right? Past 40 hours. Now, into the body of the question. I work in a position that has a few legal documents governing my function. I had to create a whole new system upon coming in, and there was very little in place to allow me to do my work. I also ended up having to initiate and manage projects and develop contracts. My actual job is 2/3 additional duties, including exempt duties, 1/3 old job description. The sole HR person had no previous experience in HR and took my job description off a nearby entity without modification as to what was actually needed. No one in upper management had or has the experience in public requirements of my function. So I had very little support, as no one looked at where this position should be in the organization chart based on actual duties. This is in a small town setting. It is difficult for someone not from here and a minority to not face any resistance in this role. HR also told me at my interview that new hires had to start at the minimum of their scale. So any experience I brought with me was not considered. This was inconsistent with what was actually written in our employee manual. Many other new hires were not subject to the same thing. Do you have any legal recourse other than look for another job elsewhere? Well, I sure do. So, I mean, if they don't want to, we'll deal with your question first, and then we'll jump on something that I issue spotted next. If you feel like you've been misclassified, if they're saying you're exempt and you feel that you're not exempt because of what you're doing or some other reason, and they don't want to talk to you about that, they don't want to, even think about reclassifying you, well, it's time to speak to a local employment attorney and see if that attorney agrees with you that you've been misclassified, that you should be getting overtime and all this. And that attorney can then help you with that, right? They could potentially bring a case for you. Now, I don't know the details of that situation, so I can't say if that's going to be a good claim or not. What I can tell you is in the rest of your question, I see you note that you're a minority and you're being treated negatively because you're a minority, and that you're being actually paid less than others at the outset, where others come in not starting at the minimum of their scale, but you were forced to start at the minimum of their scale, even though you have lots of experience and you seem like you're a very valuable, very savvy, very experienced employee, right? Well, that makes me wonder, why you? Why are you paid less in spite of all your experience and all your abilities and all these things going on? And not to be jaded here, but often when you have a minority being treated negatively as compared with everyone else, well, I think you need to ask yourself, is my status as a minority the reason why I'm being treated this way? I'm not saying it is. I'm saying you need to ask yourself that, because if the answer to that question is yes, I believe my status as a minority is why I'm being treated differently and negatively, well, that is a potential claim that you should be speaking to employment attorneys about right away. That is a whole lot of leverage, some potential value. It could be a claim. So keep an eye on that one. I hope this helps. I'm definitely available for follow-up questions. If you did feel that I helped you, consider liking and subscribing. That really helps me to help more people just like you, right? Good luck.